guys, welcome back to K-Pop Talks. I'm your host. Today we're doing the worst K-pop songs of the month, as we did the video about the best albums, which were August and September. Obviously we have the worst, which are going to be always about August, September. This time I didn't even do a distinction. I just put a bunch of them together from these two months, and we have like 3, 6, 7, 8 albums. Not many for 2 months really, but at the same time I feel like these are the worst ones that I've heard, and there's also a level of disappointment coming from some of these projects, for me at least. So let's get right into it. First one is NCT with The Golden Age. The reason why I think this album was a disappointment was because to me it's a mess. It's just a bunch of songs put together that have no reason to be all on an album. And honestly, from NCT, it's kind of weird to me because they've kind of regressed this year, I think. For me, at least personally, they've become uninteresting, they've become boring, they've become hyper predictable, and even this type of like full-length albums that are supposed to have every single member in them and they're supposed to be a union, they don't feel like that. They don't feel like this is an album where I'm listening to everyone. I'm listening to Mark, I'm listening to Taeyong, because I'm listening to other 3 or 4 guys in NCT, especially, and then there's everyone else. And when you kind of run your group like that, realistically, why have 23 members, right? I think this group, if it was a 7 or 8 member group, I would probably don't dislike it as much. But when you have 20 members, I want to hear more of that union. That's something I think they can learn from Japanese groups. I think they're very good at that. For example, even though they have a lot of members, they're able to put them all together in a project and to give you something that actually like and to actually support and cheer for. So unfortunately, this is one of the worst ones I've heard this year. This is Mamamoo with 2 Rabbits. Now the reason why I put this album here is very simple. It's not because it's necessarily terrible, it is that I think it's, to me, not really at a level of a Mamamoo project. And on top of that, it's just boring. It's just uninteresting. Again, Mamamoo are some of the most interesting female groups ever, right? And I understand this is a unit and whatever, but at the same time, I'm like, you have Solar, you have Moonbyul. Play around with that more. Think about the collaboration that Moonbyul did with Seulgi. Selfish was like 2017, 2018. That level of back and forth you can do. There's none of that. Productions are boring, and there's one song here that I think it's good, and the rest is just boring, really, and just not good, or simply not up to par to the only good song on the project. So fortunately I have to say that. I hope Mamamoo gets better. I think it's Mamamoo Plus, I could be wrong, but I have to check. But yeah, I mean, it's just boring, really boring stuff, and I'm kind of sad about it, honestly. Next, we have Somi with Game Plan. Somi keeps being one of the worst artists in Korea, in my opinion. Uninspired music, uninspired productions, just basic stuff at its best. Don't get me wrong, Somi is killing it. She's one of the most successful solo artists because of her popularity. And I remember when I used to say to people years ago, look, Somi's super popular. She's way more popular than any other member from the Produce 101 series ever. No, what are you talking about? Like, I think her numbers objectively speak for herself, and even if you just look at Game Plan, her song is 40 million, every song is around 2-3 million. This album had no sort of real production, like push. But if I go to XOXO, for example, you have a bunch of songs with 100 million, 40, 90, 50, 130. So her success is there. To me, when I talk about it from an artistic standpoint, I think artistically she has not been good probably ever since she joined YG. I think she would have benefited greatly if she was in Twice, but I still don't understand why she never ended up being on Twice, honestly. But even after Produce 101, it took her a long time to really find her groove. Now that she has it, the popularity is there, she's making her money, but the quality, in my opinion, is really subpar. Next we have ONEUS with Dolce Vita. I've praised ONEUS, even though I didn't like their song, on my weekly K-pop recap, saying that at least they've tried something different. They've tried something different on this album, I just don't think it works. It's not really something for the guys. It's not really their style of music. They've tried, it doesn't work, unfortunately. And therefore it's just a bunch of, again, it's a mess. It's not even boring, it's just not that good, really. So yeah, unfortunately I have to be here, and ONEUS is one of my favorite groups. So next we have XIN or Xen, I don't know how you say his name, with Synchronicity. I mean, terrible album, probably the worst out of this bunch. Maybe with the next one that I'm going to talk about, it's by far the worst one out of the bunch. It's so bad. It's such a copycat album, trying to steal all different styles from the most popular groups around the industry. It's just really low class and low quality to me. So yeah, I have to say it the way it is. I didn't like that. Next, I have Young K with Letter with Notes. This is really bad. I mean, I never liked Day6, but at least Jay has artistically evolved in a way that I would say it's sustainable for him to be a great artist and to become somebody that you can look at and be like, damn, this guy's grown. Young K, he's just not that good. He's not good at writing music. He's not that good at writing lyrics. The choruses don't hit the way they're supposed to for a rock-inspired project for the most part. So for me, it's more like when I look at this album, I'm specifically looking at it as in the sense of, well, Young is a talented artist. I do believe he is, but at the same time, this is not the type of stuff I'm gonna hear from rock. When I think rock has improved a lot the last couple of years in Korea. You know, it's even like it was gonna be bad even if it was 5 years ago, but now it's even worse considering how much better, how much improved the rock genre is in Korea. So next you have L's Up with 7+ Up. It's just insipid, uninspired. I mean, these produced groups have become, or these like TV show groups that get formed, they just become more and more anonymous. I would say since it was called X1 forward, it has been the case for me. You can't do two or three of them every year, maybe every couple of years. You can't, because when you did produce 101, you did produce 101 season 2, 2 years later, and then someone made sense 2 or 3 years later, and then they start doing it every year for a little bit. I don't get that. Just don't do that. People are not gonna like the group if you keep doing that. But having said that, it's just uninteresting. You know, for a group that's supposed to revive their careers, I think it's gonna be hard for them to do that with this type of project, and with this type of company that is behind them pushing this stuff in terms of music at least. And that's why we have Kepler with Magic Hour. It's just again, Kepler. I thought they've had a good year considering their terrible debut, but this album just, to me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It has, I think, similar problems with the one from One Us, partially even Mamamoo, because I think now Kepler is a good group. I have higher standards, so when they just give me the ballad, give me the love song, they give me the songs a little bit more hype. It's just very, very generic. And again, you're not from a small indie company. You're a small new group. You're a very successful group. Okay, because if I look, and I could be wrong, but let's just use Spotify. Okay, since we can, since I have it in front of me. I mean, you have a couple million listeners a week, a month. Sorry, I just look at the streams of your last project. I have a song with a couple million, and every song has almost 500,000 listens, right? That's pretty good, you know, for a group. You have a song has almost 200 million listens. That's your top song. So you're a popular group in that sense. So I don't accept the fact that, you know, you can release bad music and I'm supposed to just accept it. I think that Kepler specifically, after having a tough year, after having a tough start in 2022, they've, I think, ended up doing a decent job in 2023, and they've done good. But now you're at a point where I think you have to prove what you're worth. It's not enough to be a group that releases basic music, especially considering how good girl groups are right now. You know, girl groups have not been this good since probably late second generation, early third generation. There's been a huge boom in every group that delivers quality for the most part. You know, so I think this album, even if it's again similar to the Young K album, it's even worse now. They even sound worse. They even look worse because you have so many groups with this New Jean, XG, IVE, like Les Seraphim, obviously the classic as always Red Velvet. You have Mamamoo. We have always these groups that keep a certain level of quality, and you drop this, you're gonna be bound to look worse and to be more uninteresting to people. You know, so, and then on top of that you go generic. Well, if you go generic, then what's the point of even doing this stuff? Because the point of these groups is supposed to be that they're not generic, and yet they tend to be. That's the very weird thing. It's very interesting that since IDZON they have not been able to replicate that. It's very weird, and I think partially is because companies just do it for the ratings on television, and I don't think they deserve that bullshit done to them. said that, this was it for the worst albums of the couple of August and September. Sorry if I'm stuttering, but I'm kind of tired. Even though it's 1 p.m., I'm tired. Thank you for watching. The video is gonna come on next week. You're gonna get the cable recap of this week, and probably next week you're gonna get also the best and the worst songs and the best and the worst albums, because I don't think I'm gonna do my exams next week. It's gonna be the week after that, and the week after that you're probably not gonna get videos. So this is it. Thank you for watching, people. See you soon, and thank you for watching my channel. Comment, share, subscribe. And thank you for watching. Sorry if I'm on a terrible step, but I'm kind of fucking tired, really. Thank you.